Hello everybody and welcome on today's video. Today I'd like to get a tree out of the soil in these big grey pots there that you can see in the background, and it is the raft bonsai. It is a Japanese maple, and there is a whole series on this tree, but at a certain point I thought that it was not in good shape, so I planted it in this big pot, and it's been there for 2 years, maybe 3, I don't remember. And well, I think I should get it out now and have at least a look at the roots, and because if I don't, I think it's going to get out of hand and I will never be able to put it back in a pot. So let's have a look and get to work. So this is the raft, and well, I was not sure if I was going to take it out, so I did already the bud selection while it was here in the ground. I cleaned up a little bit the surface, but while I was doing that, I thought, man, this is really deep and strong in the ground. Look at when you move it, what a whole lot of soil comes loose. So I thought, no, I have to check this. So I'm going to get this out of the ground, and then we'll see how the roots are presenting themselves, because it might become a little complicated. So I'm going to dig this up, and then we'll see it on the table. So it's now out of the pot, and well, yeah, this is the pot where it was in originally, and you see it has been sitting here. Well, still fits. So yeah, maybe I should get it back in the pot. But yeah, first of all I need to clean up all these roots. I remember before I had this big gap here, and yeah, it's closing, and I don't think it would have closed that well as when it was in a bonsai pot. So obviously this tree likes this very sandy mix, and I'm just going to scrape away a part of the topsoil. And yeah, the way I got it out of the big stone pot there was by just cutting around with my root scissors. So technically I already did a root prune. So I think it's now a good idea just to try to sort out everything that I have here. Some roots did very strange things. So I'm just going to clean up. Because the problem when you have a tree planted in a big pot like that is that you will never be able to turn around your trees, and that's something that is important to do sometimes, because you want every part of your tree to have sufficient sunlight. And these pots, well, they are already in the shadow, which is a good thing, because it gives some trees some rest when they need it. But you cannot have them there all the time. So I'm just going to finish the raking out of the soil here. Try to comb out the roots, and then I'll do a quick root cut. And I think I'll just put the tree back in its spot, at least for 1 year, and I'll see how it does. So I think I removed all the soil that I needed to remove, and just going to cut back all the roots now. Notice that I had a dead root here in the back. So I'm going to get that off. It's not completely dead, you see there's a part green here, so I'm not going to touch that. Now, like I said, it doesn't look like I have to cut away a lot of roots, but I probably left a whole lot root in the pot when I was getting it out, because I cut around it. So this is really a proper root prune. And you see we even have some of the old soil here, which is not bad. Okay, so I think that's good. And now let's prepare the other pots. I'm going to put this in the shadow. So the pot has been sitting under the bonsai tables for, well, 2 or 3 years, I don't know. And well, obviously it is not clean. But a few weeks ago my wife bought me these steel wool sponges, and I must say I cleaned a few pots with that, and it was absolutely amazing. So look at this. Of course, when it is wet it always looks better, but now I really can clean this thing up, and I'll show you when it's done and when it's dry, because when it's wet, when a pot is wet, it always looks better, because, well, the stains seem to disappear, but they are not gone. So when you let the pot dry, it becomes obvious where you should clean it a little more. So I'm going to clean this up and then let it dry and clean again and let it dry. But I really think that this is going to be absolutely possible to get this pot clean again. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes. So as you can see, well, the pot is not perfectly clean, but it's already a whole lot better. And, well, it's always possible to clean it up a little more with a toothbrush and some anti-chalk stuff. So, okay, I'm going to plant the tree now. So here is the tree in the pot. And let's see if the height is correct. So I'm going to stand here, maybe lower the camera a little, so that we have a good view on what the tree should look like. And yeah, well, I think that's okay. I of course need to put a little layer of substrate on the bottom, so there is nothing I can do about that. For the rest, well, the tree can stay in the pot like it is now. I think it's well balanced. But I'm going to plant the tree, and then we'll talk about it, because I don't want it to be too long out of the ground. So small layer of substrate, and then the tree. Ta-ta. Yeah. So the main tree is leaning a little bit to the front, which is good. And I think the height is okay. Since this is a raft, of course, I think that the roots here can be a little crisscrossing, because well, a raft is a tree that fell over, and it's not supposed to be a tree with a radial root system. It is a little bit a chaos tree, so that makes this problem easier. So I'm going to cover it all up with substrates, push some of the roots in, and then work the soil in, and I'll be right back. The tree is now potted up, and well, gonna add some sandstones. One here. Yep. And then a big one here. Nice and straight. And then of course some moss, and I'm going to use the moss on some roots that are sticking out, just to give them time to root back in the soil. I have a couple here in the back, a little one here, like so, and then just for the color of it, a little one here, here and here. So this is how it looks now. I think it's looking quite okay. Now, one thing that I had with this tree was that this main tree, which was supposed to be the leader, was smaller than the other ones. So yeah, in order to make it thicker, I intend to let this branch grow as a new top. So that's why it is wired and straight up, and I'm not going to touch it. So it's going to maybe be a meter or so. I don't know how well it's going to grow this year, but that will probably thicken up that trunk. And I have a few cuttings. In the past I had success with Japanese maple cuttings, but I don't know, the last year not a single one survived. So if I have success and I have a few cuttings which are from the same tree, I must say, then I will probably plant them here and try to close this wound, and it will probably also help to thicken the base here. So now the tree needs a good watering, and I'll give him a place in the shadow for the coming days, because it's going to be very sunny, which is of course fantastic. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.